Okay, so a police department captured 30 speeds on radar and organized their data into a box plot. So what can we infer, meaning what is true from this data? Select all that apply. The mean is equal to the median. Well, a box plot says nothing about a mean. The mean is probably less than 30 miles per hour. Now this had to do with our skew. And if it's skewed over here, that does mean the mean is probably less than 30. Because if you remembered, it's skewed like this way. That's the skew. And so it did say that the mean would probably be less than here. The mean is probably more. No. If an officer captures an additional speed of 70, the mean must change. Well, that's true. Remember, if you have another number and it's kind of an outlier, it really is going to change the mean. If the median doesn't necessarily change because you cancel it out and it really does not affect. So the answers would be B and D. Which equation completes the square to create an equivalent to these two in the form of that? Okay, well, this one is weird because I'm going to start it out. So you have x squared plus 10x, and then you're going to have to subtract that 13 to make it look like that. And then you are going to take your 10, divide it by 2, and square it. Okay? So this is taking your, remember this was an A, B, and C. So you're taking your B, dividing by 2, and squaring that, which this makes this 5 squared, which makes this 25. I know this is, you're never going to remember this. It's going to be fine. And then you're going to add 25 to both sides. So plus 25 plus 25. So x squared plus 10x, and this is why you're going to see this, plus 25. And then negative 13 plus 25 is equal to 12. The reason why we're doing this is, first of all, it's going to give either be A or B. Now, quickly, you need to think when multiplied, what two numbers are going to give me a positive 25? Is it a positive 5 or a negative 5? Ooh, a negative times negative is positive. This is also a positive. Okay, another clue. You can stretch this out. So I'm going to rewrite these. So when I FOIL this, do I get this answer? So this would be x squared 5x plus 10x, because this was a positive 10x. If it was negative, it would be a negative 10x. But because he is positive, the answer is going to be B. Next. Which of the equations are represented by the graph shown? So I don't know if you remember when we solved these. These are called your roots, and it's like the opposite of. So this was a positive 2. It's like, how are you going to remember this? And this would be a positive 4. So when we solve these, they're actually negatives. So negative 2, negative 4, because we set both of these equal to 0, plus 2, to get them to negative. So this one would be correct. There's one of them. And then, let's see, I'm trying to think of another one, how we could figure that out. So these two would be great. It wouldn't be this, because there's no 3's here. And then let's take this here, and let's distribute this. So this times this is a positive 8, so that didn't help, right? But you should know x times x is fine. But eventually you're going to say negative 4x and a negative 2x together, added together when you FOIL, is going to give me a negative 6x. So the answer is D. Lots of information. I get it. All right. This one you guys should know like the back of your hands. You guys shouldn't even, this should not even be a problem. So here we go. Okay, so here's my y-intercept. I'm going to follow this to find another exact point. I see one here or here. I'm going to use the closer one. So my y-intercept is a positive 5. My slope, I can do it two ways, rise over run. I always start with the lower so I can rise. So I'm going up 2, and then since I'm going to the left, negative 3. So my equation is y equals a negative 2/3 x plus the 5. Don't forget your x and y, and that's all you have to do. Okay. Next. Quadratics. We love these quadratics, don't we? All right, so let's see what it's trying to say. We're going to move it 4 units to the left. So you really should move it. Use your graphing paper, whatever you need, and I want you to move 1 point. We'll start with this vertex, and we're going to move it to the left 4 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down 2 units, 1, 2. So we moved it this way and then this way. Now, I don't know if you remember that the formula to this means it's the opposite move. So on this one, if we're moving to the left, that means it's a positive 4. And then we're going down 2. So it is C as in Charlie. I'm going to give you that equation. X minus h squared plus k. And then you had a number here. I think it was a. So this describes your width, whether it's positive or negative. This would be the opposite move. That is why if it says going negative, that would be going negative 4. Negative, negative would make that a positive 4. And then this is just your up or down. Next. Okay. We just got finished with these, right? So if we did a line of best fit. So I'm just going to do a line of best fit. Boop. So let's, which statement is correct? The temperature gives no indication of car sales. Not true. The temperature, there seems to be a relationship. The temperature is if the temperature is 50, right here, the amount of car sales will definitely be 4. Well, 4 is here, so that's not true. It could be 5 or 7. The temperature, the higher the temperature is correlated to the higher car sales and causes the car sales to increase. Or the higher temperatures is correlated to higher car sales, but does not necessarily cause the car sales to increase. So it's hard to say about correlation. So the correlation, does high temperatures correlate with higher car sales? So are you trying to tell me when it's winter anywhere in the world that they don't sell cars? That is not true. So this one is almost like one of those things that you have to think about. One does not correlate with the other. Yes, maybe I want to go out and look at cars when the temperature is higher, but if I need a car and it's wintertime, I'm going to get a new car. So the answer is D. Next, again, I feel like we just finished this section up as well. You can do this in Desmos, but the easiest thing to do is to graph these. You know that's your y-intercept, so that's a negative 2. Negative 2. Was that one? Negative 2, negative 2. Okay. This is a solid line. Are these all solid? Yep. Am I going up 2 over 1? Up 2 over 1. up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Okay, so it looks like they're all graphed correctly. They're all the same other than the shading. So you can pop this into Desmos and see where to shade. But just out of curiosity, this one says less than. So this is my solid. Less than is going to be below. So less than is below the solid line. So this can't be it. This can't be it. So it's going to be one of these two. So here's below the line, correct? Below the line. The other one says above the line. So if I'm looking at the dotted line, it's got to be on this side. This one is this side. So this is incorrect. It has to be D. Okay, above the line. Again, use your Desmos for heaven's sakes on that. 18, 2 parts. First answer, it. So on this one, Riley needs to save $300 for a computer. She gets an allowance of $10 per week. Ooh. And she already has the 75. So she has 75. This is per week. How many weeks until Riley will have enough money to buy the computer? Well, you have to realize that what she is saving must be greater than the 300. Greater than. And if you need to rewrite this the other way and get it the same way, that's fine. But you're saying, if you put the greater than here, you're saying that she needs less than 300. So read that correctly. That's tricky. And now all you have to do is solve it. You guys are professional solvers here. You'd subtract 75 from both sides and then get 225, 10x, divide by 10, and then what is the answer? The answer should be 225. Remember, it's got to be greater than. So let's keep going. X, what do we say? Greater than, and that's 22.5. So what statement could X be? Could X be 20, 21, 22, or 23? 23 is greater than. All right, t-shirt time. Let's see here. Let's try, we've got our equation here. And let's understand what all of this means. I always like to change that f of x to be a y. And let's understand what all of this means. Okay, so this represents the profit function, and x represents the total. So this is t-shirts sold. Y is our profit. Okay? So now, when they give you this, this is your x. You're substituting for your x. So you're saying y is equal to 15 times 200 minus 25. And when you solve this and punch that into your calculator, you get 29.75. Remember, 200 is shirts sold. So which one has that? Any of them? No. 29.75 means that's not the number of shirts sold. This amount is what the profit was. Our Y was the profit. So it's D. Write them out. Take your time. There is no time limit. One more on this. This is interesting because what they're trying to say is your x values need to be between 0 and 60. So between 0 and 60. So we can go up by 10s. So let's just do it. Or 5s. But I'm going to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Make a table of values. So if we use these values, remember that's always 0, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So if we use those values for our x, what is our y values going to be? So you're substituting these values, can't see them, these values back into the equation. So you're saying y is equal, remember that f of x is just y, -3/2 times 0 plus 120 will give you 120. Let's put a 10 in there. If you put a 10 in there, you get 105. You can just pretend like you're doing it. If you put a 20 in there, you get 90. 30, you'll get 75. 60, 45, and 30. Okay, so now you know on your y-axis, don't forget to put x, y. It doesn't have any labels here, but that's okay. It's not giving it to us. And literally, these are going up by, what is that, 15? Is that right, 15? So I'm going to start at 0, and then I'm going to go 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, and 120. And all you have to do is graph those points. Okay? That's it. That's it. All right. I'm going to stop there for this.